Here we go.
Mamma mia.
Welcome to another Gettin Salty Experience. It's the only place that we bring the kitchen table and the firehouse to you guys. The ball breaking, the scary fire stories, and everything else that comes with it. As always, I got my boy here, Roofy, with the Bronx Bend tonight.
What's up?
Yep, I got Pete sporting, producer Pete, probably Pete sporting his own wares. I wish I had a shirt like that.
Yeah, we didn't get you cramped up.
Yeah.
All right. I'll hook you up. You know, listen, I'm about to relaunch. I'm going to tell the audience about this when we're all relaunched. All right.
Oh, he's relaunching. So we're doing a Q&A. I like Q&A because we get to interact with you douchebags, and at the end, you get to break our balls, which is hilarious. I love it. Love it. I love it. Let's see if some of them can be funny today in the 5 minutes.
Oh, the 5 minute fury today. I forgot about that.
5 minutes of fury. Oh, Evan King checking in the room. I think he's down in Florida now. Shabbat shalom. Hoi, Evan.
Shalom. Hoi. What's going on, Evan?
What's going on, Evan?
What's going on?
Is that velvet?
Beautiful. What is that?
What is that?
What is that, velvet?
You know, we got to tell them, though, who sponsors the show.
Kev. Oh, shit. Pete. The shameless plug. Bring it in. Go. Brought to you.
Everybody brought to you by gettinsaltyapparel.com, ladies and gentlemen, where you can find the coolest, saltiest firefighter apparel, T-shirts, hats, lighters, cigar cutters, the whole works.
Yeah, man.
We're here for you. First due at your old lady's box.
Oh, Saddle Up is the new one. Got it on right now. Saddle Up. Looks like work. Get on the website. Order it. Working it. So we got the Q&A, Pete. Hit it.
Boom.
Go. What are you drinking tonight, Ruffy? First of all, what do you got? Oh, I thought you were going to grab a claw. What happened?
I saw you mixing. I saw you doing this.
You found your man pants on the way upstairs, and he said, let me grab the jacks.
I took out my vagine. I said to him, let me put my vagine away tonight, and I'll get my ice cubes.
Well, I found my vagine tonight, and I blame you, Ruffy.
Their mango is delicious, by the way.
I'm about to try it for the first time. I've been on the watermelon.
Nice, good, great. Look, instead of giving the finger this way to Pete, we're gonna give Pete. Let me give you this one. Let me give you
the curl. Yes,
give you the curl with your white claw.
The secret is to come hither. Come
right. No cursing tonight either. We had a guy who complained the other day about cursing. We got to keep it on no cursing. Keep it down.
All right, Pete, what do you got? First one out. Shoot it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, from the email. Hey, guys, love the show. Keep up the great work. My father retired in the early 90s out of 40 truck after a guy dropped a Halligan on his head. That's terrible, but holy shit, what a way to start a story. From a 7th-story fire escape. Oh, my God. So I love hearing all the old school stories and guests. My question is for Kevin. How did you manage your ACL injury, and any advice for myself regarding surgery and rehab? I'm an aspiring firefighter out here in Utah now, and I just broke my ankle and tore my ACL and MCL skiing a few weeks ago. I've been lucky enough to have the upcoming testing delayed by COVID, but would hate to have to wait another 2 years for testing to open again. I would love to hear your thoughts on this subject. God bless. Tim from Staten Island.
Tim from Staten Island. Tim, the recovery sucks, but you got to man it up, and you got to go to your rehab and go above and beyond in the rehab. Really work it hard, and work it hard when you get home. Working hard like I work Pete's old lady's box. Oh, I had to throw that in there. Whoa!
I'll get you back when we go camping with your old lady.
Cool.
Guys are killing me.
No doubt. It's a fucking painful surgery. I had the ACL done twice. I had meniscus done 4 times. It's a long rehab, but stay with it. Do the rehab at home. And avoid sports like basketball and skiing, you schmuck, if you're trying to get on the job. Avoid the skiing part and rehab the hell out of it. And get back to man up. Get back to the jab.
I mean, you felt the first time that you came back from that, you felt strong, right? I mean, you felt good.
I came back too soon, though, honestly, because what happened was I came back after the Father's Day. If I broke my kneecap, came back early. I came back for my head. Before my knee was healed up, because I needed to see if I could still do it, get the boogeyman out, you know what I mean? So I needed to get back and go to a job and get that out of the way. I probably came back a little too soon. It wasn't healed up properly. So take the time to heal up and do the rehab. I came back way too fucking soon, but I was in a hurry. I told them it didn't hurt anymore when I went to the medical office, and that was it.
Yeah,
I see Gonzo in the rehab and self-pleasuring. Dude, listen, I ain't no stranger to myself. I'm just going to tell you that, bro. If you can't love yourself, who can you love? That's all I'm going to say. You know what I'm saying, Gonzo? I'm no stranger to that one, bro.
He ain't scared.
I'll tell you something. I'll tell you something else too, Tim from Staten Island. I have some knee injuries as well. Not a torn ACL. I have currently have a torn meniscus, and the options were either get surgery or rehab it, and both percentages were about 50-50 either way. Like some people respond better to one or the other. I responded better to rehab, and it's a long journey. You got to take your time, like Kev said. If you want to rush it, like I did at first, I tore it and retore it a couple times, and then now I'm finally in a place 2 years later where I could get it up and running and right. But that's because I didn't have the surgery. ACLs, you gotta have the surgery, or else you're never gonna be able to stabilize. So I have a torn taint, says Evan King. Ah, I love it. I knew when you started laughing. It's because I've been drinking the claws. You did this to me, Lou. I didn't even hear about this.
Old torn taint.
Yeah.
So I think a little while back there, JB had asked why I retired, and it was for medical reason. I had my bicep and my rotator cuff on my pitching hand. I never pitched, but my wiping my ass hand. That's a tough thing to do when you get that surgery. I'll tell you, nobody let you know about that prior to going into that thing, and that's months. That was months of rehab with that. It's been a year and a half now, maybe 2 years. It's just finally getting to the point where I can feel like I got a little bit of strength and I could do stuff. Otherwise, I look like Coops.
They wanted you to fuse your neck too, right, or something?
Yeah, they wanted to do my neck too. I got a tough paper route.
Yeah, that's what I tell you, bro. If this
26 years. 26 years.
This job will beat the shit out of you, bro. Yeah, you might not kill you. It may kill you. But if you do it right and you do your job at 100%, you get beat the fuck up, man. No doubt. Oh, I cursed again. Tell that guy you can't watch.
Please.
I mean, should we address that really quick? I mean,
he might be watching. He said he had to turn it off because we were cursing too much.
Yeah, he seemed like a nice enough guy, and we appreciate his feedback and also the the support and all. But I mean, I don't know if I've never even heard of a firefighter kitchen table vibe where someone wasn't cursing. Am I wrong here, guys, or am I right?
No, listen, the whole issue is, we discussed this. Listen, we're not on here to just act like idiots and, curse around and do stupid shit. I mean, we do a lot of stupid shit, but so we tell our guests, hey, listen, just limit it. You could curse, but just limit it. We don't want to have a mother effer come. Yes, that's why Pete had that. So, but, I'm not going to tell our guest, if he's cursing and telling a story. It's not like he's it kind of meshed into the whole thing. So I get the part a little bit, but use a little common sense, and then don't post. You guys email me for everything, and all of a sudden the guy doesn't want to email me to say, hey, listen, I thought it was too much cursing. He's got to post it in a public forum, and and then the facts are that what he said wasn't true. So that's the only thing.
When you sent me that, forwarded that, and what did I write you back?
I'm not saying. I think it was the C word.
No, I say tell him to go fuck himself. How about that?
Oh man. Well, you know what I say? Look, who knows? Some people do watch this. I've heard a few people in chat say they do watch the show with their wife or their kid.
Listen, I know the other kid too. He's watching this, so we're trying to keep. Listen, we're trying. It's not like we're out here just winging it.
But not just, like fuckity fuck.
Oh, easy.
Well, I don't know if he's look at his face.
I was at the gun range not a while back, and there was three of us just blasting away, having a day, and I guess some dude with his old lady was there, and I was like, I turned around, and I was like, do you see that? I didn't have the right flash guard at the end of my AR, and then a fireball came out of the gun. First time I'd shot it there. And I go, oh, fuck, or something. And then the guy just, hey, excuse me, sir, but I have my wife here with me, okay? I'm like, the hell are you taking your wife to the gun range for? You know what I mean? This is
I
a man.
I brought my wife to the gun range, bro. She shoots a gun better than
We
you.
need a beep. We need a beep.
Beep.
I go, yeah.
Should we bleep it? Should we bleep stuff out? That's the question.
Nah.
All right.
Yeah. All right, go with the next question.
All right. Number 2 coming in from
Somebody wrote 6-year-old Mikey D said, "Fuck that guy."
That's his father.
I feel bad. I wouldn't want to say that to any of our audience. I really wouldn't. But anyway, okay. Hey guys, longtime lover of the FDNY and its rich history and great heritage. I watch a lot of FDNY videos and have always wondered what the thought is when packing hose, as it seems like absolutely everybody on the scene helps pitch in and pack it. You always see a long line of guys standing behind an engine feeding the hose to the guys on the engine packing it. Is it simply because many hands make light work, or is it a camaraderie thing to build teamwork, or is it there another reason for it? Thanks, Tom Merrill from Amherst, New York.
Want me to go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, all right. Yeah, that's it's both. It's a lot of fucking hose. It's a lot of hose out. I better stop drinking. It's a lot of hose out. You know, it's a lot of work. So everybody pitches in, and you talk about the job, and it's camaraderie, and it's many hands make light work. And I'll tell you another thing. You know, it wasn't a practice of sock to help pack hose, but when I was driving, I made sure, and Captain Evans too, you know, I don't care where you are, sock, whatever, we always help pack hose, bro. You know, I would listen out, or the captain would listen out, and we would all help pack hose because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, it's just the right thing to do. The last thing you want to do is show up late to a job, go in the job, come out of the job, and then leave and let the guys. It's just not a good thing, right? You know, that's what the brotherhood is about. It's making sure. You know, listen, if a job came in, we would leave. If we were going to another job, then we would leave, obviously. But that was something that I didn't, you know, like you said, Kev, right? Early on, that's just what everybody did. And most of the time, guys are just doing this, right? They're not even touching the hose. You know, you could go like this. The hose is just stretched out. Yeah. You know, you're not really even touching it because there's so many people with their hands on it, like moving it, you know.
And a lot of guys take their gear off and stuff, but I used to tell guys, make sure you wear your helmet so that at least they know the squad's helping pack hose. You know?
Most of the time,
and I swear to God, they give you the look like in the beginning, like, "Oh, you guys help us pack hose. Rescue never helps us pack hose." I'm like,
well,
we help pack hose, bro.
It's funny that you should mention that because there's a question in the chat that says, ask Lou, what's the house who no one helps pack the hose?
90.
Yeah. 90s, you know, God bless them. I love them. But, you know, we didn't have many friends, you know what I mean? And I have to say, I felt like it was a bizarro world. You know, like we always did the right thing in my mind. But if you talk to other people around, it didn't seem like that. But
is that true though? They didn't help 90 pack the hose?
They would, but you know, it was the most one of the most hated companies on the job, man. You know, so we love each other. We don't need that many friends. You know what I mean?
That's right up your alley, kid. That's why you're right there. I love it.
A couple questions coming in from the chat. Let's hit one. Do you guys have any advice for a volley to the FDNY from Peter O'Brien?
Yeah, keep it to yourself. Yeah, I mean, don't, you know, a lot of guys, I didn't mind it. I didn't care about volleys on the job. You know, to me.
But how to get there? How to get there?
Oh, you mean how to get there, or once you're working?
It just well, you know what? I'll leave it to our audience here. Here it is. Advice for volley to FDNY.
Take the test. I mean, I don't know. Take the test, and when you get to the Proby school, if you know how to do stuff already, pretend like you don't. Don't be a smartass. You know, pretend like they're teaching you for the first time, and also keep it separate. You know, because
early on when we first got on, but now that's kind of like, you know, I don't even think about it. I mean, you get your balls broke because you're a volley, right? Or you're a chief or whatever it is that you do, you know, always. But, you know, I don't think it's an issue at all now.
No, I don't know.
Yeah. Another quick one from the chat here. Pete, like I know, Lou and Kev, what are the telephones in the trucks? Is that a radio handset? from
talk to the dispatcher. That talks
Correct.
directly to the dispatcher.
So when you pick that up, there's a little button on the inside of the old style phone. So you press the button and you have, I think it's 30 seconds. You could talk before it cuts out, and you have to repress the button to transmit again.
And it's just transmitting like standard RF, like over a UHF secure frequency.
You know what? That's a little technical for me, but I know that there's, Brooklyn, Queens. So you could switch radios, different frequencies. You could go from Brooklyn to Queens. If you were relocating to Brooklyn, you would get on the radio and say, 288 to Queens, we're switching over to Brooklyn. He'll say 10-4. You switch over to Brooklyn, you say 288, we're on your, to Brooklyn, we're on your frequency, relocating to wherever. So if they needed to get a hold of you over the radio, they would know that you were on the frequency, and vice versa,
Right. So it's probably just the reason it's configured in a handset, like an old school telephone handset, is because it probably sounds better, easier for you to operate in the vehicle, right? I mean, the radio.
Neanderthals, that's why.
And you know why? It was a good grip for Tony Tedeschi to hold and smash against the dashboard when they weren't sending us to our boxes.
You know what though? The guys in the
allegedly.
chat, the guys in the chat, like all the guys that I see on TV now or on YouTube, they got headsets like this with the mic, so they're talking to each other, through that. I don't know if the guys in other places talk to the dispatcher like that too. Obviously they would. They wouldn't take their headset off and pick up a phone.
I guess,
so
yeah, man.
New York is kind of still way behind when it comes to that, I would imagine.
Yeah, comms are
freaking deaf too, by the way.
Another quick one from the chat, guys, and this may be interesting. Hey, Pete, can you ask Kevin, Lou, if they were at the Highrise fire that the New York Yankees pitcher flew the Cessna plane into because of the engine problems, or do you guys know anyone from that Highrise?
Actually, 44 engine. That's a hazmat tech engine. They were first due at that box. That was the Corey Lytle, I think. Corey Lytle fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. They were first due. So
pretty good job, right?
Yeah, it was a really good job because a lot of those guys would work details to hazmat all the time. So they said that it was a really good job, and that was a Squad 18 box and a Rescue 1 box. So we wouldn't go to that unless something went sideways. If we had a firefighter down or something, then we would come across it. Unless maybe 18 was out too. That's the only reason we would go to that one. That was a good job, man.
Yeah, that was a scary one too, because I remember post 9/11, everyone was panicked, like a plane hit the building.
Oh yeah, dude. I worked the one. Somebody had brought this up a while ago, to the Rockaway one, which was only like a month after 9/11, and we thought that was a terrorist thing for sure, man. We thought we were going to another one, when the plane crashed in the Rockaways.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that when you described it on that last episode, that was really freaky, man. Seeing all the people's clothes strung out all over the place and parts of
man. Yep.
Yeah, man. One more from the chat, real quick. Well, there's a couple. I guess your worst injury from Patty Stepp. They're both asking. I guess your knee, right, Kev?
Yeah, because at that job, I got some burns on my back and broke my kneecap, tore my ACL. So that was probably
Father's Day, right? For that one?
Yeah. Yep.
Oof. My God. How about you, Louis?
I would say, up until the last year before when I went out with my surgery, I would say I always had an issue with my neck. I used to have steroid injections. I used to have the epidural into my neck just to like every few years, every 3 years, 2-3 years. Just because I had so much pain, I have compressed whatever it is, herniations or whatever it is. But it's been better now that I don't wear the mask.
I also got whacked because we were talking about this before the Halligan fell. Some guy whacked me in the back. I had my helmet on, thank God. Whacked me in the back of the head. He was swinging the Halligan. I don't know. He was close to me, but he whacked me in the back of the head in the top of the helmet, which knocked me out for like a couple of seconds. I think I never tapped out, but I probably had a concussion from that. Oof. I'm like, where the fuck he's swinging? Not even fucking close to me. Might have been on purpose, the squad guy by himself. Let me wrap him in the back of the head with a helmet. I've been cracked.
I've been concussed before. It ain't pretty. Actually, here's a good question from the chat as well. I know we got a few more coming from the email, but this is a good one, and I don't want to miss this one. From Mike Stallings, Serious question. We lost so many guys on 9/11. If we had another 9/11, God forbid, would the FDNY respond differently? Good question.
I would hope so.
I mean, initially they would respond similar, right? But there are some things that have changed. I know that if it was something like a building like that, multi-story, whatever it is, 20, 30, 40, 50 stories, they have, the city was supposed to put repeaters in. I mean, a lot of the buildings do. I'd have to ask one of my friends, Mikey Gomez. But so that the real issue there was communication, right? It wasn't so much the fact of the construction of the building was a major issue, obviously. But, not being able to speak to everybody and hear what was happening, guys, when the first building collapsed, guys in the second building didn't even know it collapsed. So, the handy-talkies weren't working. So that was one of the issues that they did was they ran like repeaters in these buildings or something, right, Kev? I'm not 100% up to snuff with that stuff. Mikey would know more about that.
You know what part of the problem is, bro? We're our own worst enemy. I mean, guys do what they do. Guys are running up those stairs with hoses rolled up, and Oriel Palmer made it up pretty high, right? I don't know how high.
78 or 80 stories.
Yeah. So, I mean, these guys, it's hard to keep firemen back, especially when something comes in like that.
He was a real deal. That guy was a real deal, man.
Oh, he was a real deal.
That guy was the real deal.
Oh, shit. I don't know where he went. Oh, shit. What did I do with Chief Steve? He was friends with Chief Steve. I can't find him.
He
didn't remind me.
He was a real deal. And, his reports were some of the best reports that they gave.
He was giving reports from, I believe he was the first one up. He was giving reports from the 5th floor, so he was the real deal. But like I said, you're not going to stop the guys from doing their job, bro. It's what we do sometimes to our own detriment,
Yeah.
So.
Holy shit.
You would hope that the job would be a little more relief. Because honestly, Pete, nobody thought those buildings were coming down. If anybody thought those buildings were coming down, they would have been in there,
I know. It's still, to hear a guy went 78 stories in that massive, vast expanse of a building with a hose rolled too on top of it.
Oh, that's why he was in 138 truck, Tony Belisari.
Yeah,
that's
right. Where is that, Tony? Staten Island?
Let's take one from the emails, and then there's a bunch of great stuff in the chat too. So good night tonight, boys. Here we go. Fellas, good stuff going on there. Thanks for making this happen. Got a question. You keep mentioning a UFO spot on a rig. What the hell is that? From Walter Lewis, Fire Department, City of Orlando.
You want me to do that? So a UFO spot is like if there's an opening in a company, it would be, as an officer. So I think it means until further orders. So you would stay there until, so you don't actually have the spot. They're not switching you out. You're actually working there as a regular officer who's assigned there. So when you get a UFO spot, that's kind of a good thing. That means there's a pretty good chance you're going to get that spot and be on the order and then be assigned to that company for the duration of that, the amount of time that you want to be there, or if you get promoted or whatever. But you still could lose the spot as a UFO spot. It's happened, quite a lot, a lot of times where you have the spot UFO and then somebody comes out of the woodwork when it's time to, get assigned and, knocks you out of the box. So UFO is just until further orders. So it's good to have a UFO spot if you're looking to get that spot. That's the first step to get it. So
Patty Lee's in there saying you did a good job there. That is correct, he said. Look at that.
That's my lieutenant.
That's your guy. We're gonna have him on, right? I think. Patty
I'm gonna get. He did. I did email. He emailed me, and I emailed him back. He said that he doesn't have much. They keep him locked up in his house, so he doesn't really have much to do. So that's the only reason why he's watching the show.
Well, he's not. He's
a fine compliment. Thank you so much.
He's not smoking, is he drinking?
No, I think he's not. I'm sure he's drinking because I used to see him at the bar during the Ranger games. When I used to go home from work, I used to stop at the bar to get a drink before traffic, and he was always in there with a bunch of firemen. So that's the last couple of times I used to see him all the time. He still looks the same.
Here's a quick one from the chat, boys. I think we might have answered this in a prior podcast.
Oh, see, I'm right. Chief Kleehouse said until further orders. See?
Look at that. You're smart. I'm smart, Mikey.
I'm smart, Mikey. Rich Anderson's asking, Pete, can you ask the boys if they ever try to make the move to rescue since they were in SOC? And if no, why not?
I wanted to go to rescue too. Or actually, we talked to Scotty Maxwell, said he was thinking about bringing me up to 3. Then he found out that I was getting out, so that kind of went by the side. But you know what happened was, Pete, after 9/11, so many guys said they were going to stay. But when the rescues came calling, they all left, and I couldn't leave. I couldn't leave the company, until it was rebuilt. And by that time, I was a senior man. I had the seat. I was in no rush to go anywhere. I love the company. I love the work we do. I love the guys we work with. So my window was gone. So I was happy retiring out of there.
I think if I didn't get promoted right after 9/11 in 288, I think at some point I would have probably went to one of the rescues. And then after I went to 29103, when I came back into SOC, I was kind of leaning towards going to one of the rescues, putting my time in, bouncing around, and then trying to see if there would be a spot open. But 288 opened up immediately. Like, I didn't even get out of the rescue school. I didn't even bounce a day. And then, by that time, like Kevin said, it was my family. I wasn't going to.
Wonder how that happened. That was crazy. That was silly how he got the spot right away. I don't know. Maybe a little birdie whispered into the captain's ear. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Come on, I threw my hat in there. I got a little juice. You know what I mean? Come on.
Listen, I made a mortal enemy out of Sully.
I know, Mike Sully. Sully hated you after that, man.
Oh, man.
Mr. Happy, I like to call him. He's still one of my favorite guys. I
love him.
Another one from the emails, guys. Greetings, Ben. Quick question for Lou and Kev, of course. How much SOC schooling do the members need to perform to get into SOC? And do they need to perform to stay in the company? So I'm assuming that's a question regarding performance standards. Thanks for the great content and awesome salt dogs that come on every week to entertain the brothers. Stay low and go, from Phil D.
Well, just like Galleone said in that small snippet, right? You don't need to know anything. You only need his heart and balls, and they'll teach you everything, right? You don't go to the schools until you get there. And once you get there, they start sending you to all the schools. You go to a collapse school, high angle. You go to a hazmat school. You go to, what else did I have?
Trench.
Trench. The high angle.
Firefighter removal. They'll start sending you to all those. Those are all week long.
Those are week classes, and then they'll start sending you to the out-of-state classes. You'll go to bomb school. So they do all the teaching, while you in the company, and they'll ask you what you know. When you put a resume in to go to see the captain, they'll ask what skills you have. Do you have any training? They'll send you to tender school to learn how to tender dive, shit like that. But everything is kind of taught once you're in the system.
And if you don't, and then the second part of that question is, you need to perform. There's, I would say, I know in 288 that Mike's, he sends back a lot of guys. If it's not going to work out, it's not going to work out. He's not going to, sugarcoat it. And, if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. It's, the last thing you need to do is have somebody who's not going to be coming to get you. Because I say it all the time. The only guy's coming to get you, your company. You know what I mean? When the time comes, that's the only guys coming. So, you need to make sure that all those guys are coming to get you the same way, I would go to get them. So.
Nope. Lots of questions in the chat. Guys, I'm going to try to get to all your questions if we can tonight, but it's never possible because this show moves quickly. Here we go. Motor City Fan is asking, what is the meaning of the fast truck and what is their purpose? Thanks. What's a fast truck?
So the fast truck is an extra truck that shows up. Basically, they have,
life-saving rope,
stokes, extra hooks, a saw. They'll bring all that stuff to the command post. And unfortunately, I've been on that end where it could be, you could get there on the first, they're assigned on the first 1075. So they get there pretty fast, and there's a pretty good chance you could freaking stand there, if it goes to a fourth alarm the whole time and not do anything. Now, granted, you're supposed to be in a scenario where if something went bad, the chief would put you to work as I forget what the heck they call them outside of we call RIT team. So that's basically what you're there for. You're a safety precaution in case something goes bad. You guys are going to get the ball.
In case a firefighter goes down, you have to,
So,
which really is, ironically, is why the rescues were created. The rescues were created to save firefighters, basically. So,
and to that question, or to that response, rather, Mark Mayfield in the chat is saying, I understand the squad concept, but what event took place for the FDNY to develop the squads?
It was all hazmat. I'm not going to lie to you.
That was all hazmat.
They wanted to expand their capabilities of hazmat, and they knew they weren't going to get guys to go to, just do hazmat. So they threw in a bone. They went with the squad concepts. They already had Squad 1. They had 41, which they called an enhanced engine, it was a squad, but so they threw the squad's 1075s and all the training that went with it, the high angle and everything else, because they knew nobody was going to sign on just to go to these places to do fucking hazmat. It just wasn't happening. So that's why they came up with the squads. It was Von Essen and what's his name, dude? His father, his son was in Rescue Tree. He was a hockey player. What the hell was his
Ellison?
name? Yeah, Captain Ellison, Ellison Sr. It was him and Von Essen who came up with the squad idea. And, they went with the hazmat and threw everything else in on top so that we get guys like Dennis Murphy, Hank Millay, Fat Daddy Ray, because otherwise they wouldn't get guys like that to go there. Yeah. So that was it.
Nice. Real quick, again, more questions from the chat. How long, from Gene Bess, how long is the FDNY Rescue School?
It's 3 weeks. And then, so it's rescue school is 3 weeks, right. And then hazmat is 3 weeks.
They give you an overview. They give you a little taste of each thing, a little bit of collapse, a couple of days of collapse, a couple of days of trench, a couple of days of firefighter removal. Then you go back to the company after you do the 3 weeks of hazmat too. You go back to the company, and then when the other classes come up, you take them individually, which are what, week classes or 2 weeks? I think they're week, right?
1 week classes, yeah.
1 week classes, all collapse, all high angle, before they had the rescue school. I mean, the rescue school was only new when we got down there, right? Before that, they were doing all in-house training, I think. I think the rescues were learning. Chief Kleehouse would probably know better than me. They were teaching the stuff. Rocco was coming into the firehouses teaching the ropes to guys, stuff like that. Before they came up with the concept of the rescue school.
All right.
What's crazy is when you first come to the school, you get in the company, right? You're all excited. You finally get in the company. The first thing you do is you're out of the company because you have to, go take the classes. If it turns out that they're running the rescue school, right away, you'll go to it right away because they don't run that maybe once or twice a year. So it's not like they run it, continually. So everything's peachy. They only run it twice a year. So if you miss that one, you might not go until the end of the year. And by the time you go, you probably know everything because you've been in the squad for, working all that time. You know what I mean? Practicing.
Yeah. And it's good, Pete, when they say, we talked about the training, when they send you across the country, Alabama for live agent, you get to meet guys from all over the country in different fire departments. Trade
secrets around a little bit.
Well, it's just fun to hang out with those guys. I went with Fat Daddy Ray, so what kind of shit. I went to all my classes with him. I don't know why we bonded, bro. And we will.
You, Ray, and your old lady's box.
And they hated us.
You see, Patty Lee, his first lieutenants were George Isa, Jim Ellison, and Pete Gansey.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that?
Where was he? 124 truck? Was that 124?
I don't know if he started in 124 truck. We gotta ask him.
Because Gansey was in 124, I think, man. I'm not sure.
Chief Kleehouse said all in-house training in the 70s.
Yeah, man.
Couple more quick ones from the chat, and then we'll get back to the emails. From Dave Phillips, Lou, what training did you go through once you got promoted to LT before they sent you out to float? Also for Pete, how did you get involved with the podcast? What's up, Lou?
So what was the question for me? I was.
What, I'm sorry. What training here? What training did you go through once you got promoted to LT before they sent you out to float?
Yeah, so you basically just go to flips for a couple of weeks. That's it. They don't really give you much. It's not about what you would think. They're not showing you how to be a boss like at a gas leak or a fire or any of that stuff. It's more about the back end. How to handle soldiers, how to handle guys, how to do this, what you would do in this situation, being a public speaker, how to run a drill. More of the back stuff as opposed to. They're hoping if you got promoted that at least you know how to put out a fire.
Tie your shoes.
Right.
Patty Lee said he was in 124. That's what I thought he was. It's good.
Yeah.
Great
Yeah.
fucking
Nice.
house.
Back then, are you freaking kidding me?
Ooh, we saw a couple.
And I guess just for me, I got involved with the podcast because Kevin and I are friends from our local gym, and our kids go to school together, and we wound up being buddies. And he said, "Hey, I got what do you do for a living?" And once I told him I work in TV, he's like, "What do you know about podcasts?" And here I am. That's it, boys.
Right. We hired him. He let me, bang his old lady, and then that was it. We were good.
He didn't even let me
qualifier.
He didn't even let me sniffer. I didn't even get a sniff or anything. You know what I mean?
I mean, you're not in the neighborhood. You know what I mean? Once
come
you
on,
come down,
guys.
you'll be all right.
I'm the president. You know what I mean? I'm the El Pres.
Oh, he is. Listen, we're going camping, me and Pete. What happens camping? What happens camping stays camping, right, Pete? You know what I mean?
Shabbat shalom, if you know what I mean. We both got old ladies.
Pete,
you know what I'm saying?
Pete might take a little stuff from column A and column B, if you know what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Depends how much we drink. All right, but we need to get the old ladies' box dongs done by then, and we'll figure that one out. Hold on, quick one here. Pete asked Kevin Lou why they didn't have to be scuba divers. I'm sure you guys know why. What's that?
Squads aren't dive trained. The rescues are. We were trained just to augment the rescues and be dive tenders, just tend the divers. So, but you know what? A lot of guys did go for scuba on their own. A lot of guys went. Mike Wood, I think, is scuba trained.
Well, we did the fast water too, the swift water training. We did. So we did that. We did the boat operator class. So after Sandy, they sent us to North Carolina and all these places, and we did swift water stuff, which is incredible. Jumping in the water, doing all this crazy stuff. But I'm out.
Not your scene, doing the scuba, you guys. Yeah, I would think that's kind of cool. I don't know, it's something else, but
you want for scuba, Ruben?
Not in the East River, bro. Not in the East River.
Oh no!
You can't see shit in front of your face, man.
I'm out.
You really can't. That's
You want for
nasty. You're
scuba?
I'll pull that up. All right, real quick one. Oh, and actually not a quick one. This is coming from the emails. Hey, it's Shooter120 from the chats. What's up, Shooter120? I see you in there. I work in Johnson City Fire in upstate New York, all-career department. 34 guys covered about a 5 square mile area with a similar population density of Queens. Anyway, I've noticed many guys on the job tend to live outside of NYC, especially post-retirement. Is there any specific reason that guys move out? Is it their pension goes further, or just to get out of the craziness of the city? Really digging the chats, guys. Great work. Eric Corwin, Johnson City FD.
Got to ask Ruffy. He went up to God's country.
I would say, I love the city. I grew up in the city. I still have family in the city. But, when you start having a family, that's what changes. You know what I mean? At some point, you could stay there for a little while. But once they have to start going to school and doing all that stuff, it's just better for your family to get out of the city. The city's crazy, and it's not like when I was a kid. So like everything, everything changes. It's wasn't my scene when I was single. You see these guys work in Manhattan, you couldn't pay me triple to work in Manhattan. But, if I was a single guy and I was in Manhattan, there's no explanation needed there. Right. So imagine being on a fire truck in the city, it's all timing, and then as you get, closer to retirement, the last thing you want to do is, it's crazy. Patty Lee's still in the city, but he's crazy. So that makes sense. You know,
He is crazy. In fact, I smashed into his garbage cans at the job. Loved it. You know what? I got tired of taking an hour going around the block looking for a goddamn spot.
the spot.
Yeah.
Is great.
And that was every night. I'm like, I've had it, bro. So I moved out by the beach. I live a couple blocks from the beach, right? A couple blocks from Pete.
Yep.
And
the parking spot was absolutely.
Oh my God,
absolutely
bro.
drive you crazy. It
Literally
was
an hour driving around a block for an hour looking for a
waiting
spot.
for somebody to pull out, and then who does this? Like, who's doing this? Is the quality of life thing here? I don't want to kill myself. Again, if I was 25, it would be no problem. When you're 40,
but even back then, it wasn't that. It was spots. You know,
it was. It's got more. It's more congested.
Most people don't stay in New York anyway. If you're from here, I mean, I grew up in Astoria, Queens, right? And I was born in the 70s, but really raised in the 80s and 90s. I was just telling a friend of mine today. I was like, "You think this is New York? This ain't New York. How many times have you had a gun stuck in your face? You know what I mean? And like, you get sick of that. You get sick of the pandemonium, the insanity, and like you said, Kev, the parking spots. Jesus Christ!
You know what? You know what it is too. Like guys are talking about the taxes. Around here, the city has the cheapest taxes actually. Yep. Like you go out to Long Island, Suffolk, and you come up here, upstate, Westchester, Rockland, Orange. The taxes are absolutely incredible. Like he said, somebody said 16,000 in Nassau or Suffolk. It's crazy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
18K for me. So
that's the reason why people could stay in the city. Because it was always cheaper. Now it's starting to catch up a little bit. They're starting to hit you a little bit harder now. So.
Pete, tell Tank him his prime. I see him on there.
You see Patty Lee? Crazy was being the lieutenant to you yum-yums.
Listen, I can't get Roofy to go for the first do-it-your-old ladies box thongs unless maybe he sends a picture of Kerry with a thong. Maybe
he did send a picture. Did you see the picture? He did send a picture with her with the tank on. Well, you don't look at any social media. I mean,
How about you share it a little or something?
It's on. It was on Instagram. What are you talking about?
Kerry was on the stories. On the stories.
Thank you, Pete. Thank you.
By the way, with all due respect, in a nice way, she's a beautiful lady. I mean, really nice. Good shit.
Salty. She was salty.
Can you send me that picture?
Don't send him anything.
Don't you look at any of that stuff?
The stories go away. If I don't get on there at a certain time, the stories go away.
It's 24 hours.
Listen to me. I'm shipping over here. I'm busy. What do you think? I'm sitting here on a computer?
What do you think I'm doing over here? Your mom's not going to like
that. I'm bringing in, 5,000 pounds worth of axes.
That's why you got big guns. What do you want? What would you rather have? Buggy whips or big guns?
Louis, the back end work that Louis does is invaluable.
Thank
you. Trust me, we make a good team. Hey, Pete, ask the boys what accommodations they received and if they got and if they got in rips or write-ups.
Write-ups. So for the most part, I only have unit citations. I've had a couple of grabs, but politically, it went in the toilet. So it is what it is, and I was never. I've made a few grabs, but never had it, written up.
Yeah, I grabbed a fireman one time from 136 who fell to a shaft. Got written up, but never got anything. So it is.
Oh my God, this chat! You know what? I lose brain cells. Pete asked Kevin if he ever had a close encounter with a Coney Island whitefish.
Coney Island.
You know what that is? Oh shit! That's when you're swimming at the beach and a condom comes floating by you.
Nah, never had it, bro.
Oh shoot!
Ask all right, Pete, we go to the same beach, bro.
I know. No, I never. You know what though?
I've never seen it.
I will say this as two people that live on a beach, and you can either confirm or deny, but I think that now that I live on the beach, I realize how filthy people are when they come to the beach with their wrappers and cans and bottles and crap that they leave around. If you go to a beach, please God, bring a garbage bag with you. Just one Glad bag from the kitchen, and just put your stuff in there. It's not that hard. We got to
talk about fires.
Pete,
it's gross.
We're off the environment. Come on. Listen,
It's gross.
listen.
Take your rucker pack. Get in your rucker pack on the boardwalk and
All
bring a
right.
plastic bag with you. All right.
All right, good.
All
good.
right.
Done?
All right. All right.
All
Let's go to the emails.
There's 1 minute I'll never get back again, bro.
Holy Mamma mia. All right. All right. I deserve it. Quit being a pussy, man. Pete. Good evening, fellas. Two-part question out of Baltimore City Fire Department. Down here, we train in-house for guys to get approved to act lieutenant. Once they're ready, the officer signs off. They're good to act in charge if there are no other officers working in the company that shift. Does FDNY always have an officer working on every company, every tour, or do firefighters act LT on occasion? Second part is, I've heard there's some sort of officer school either before you get made or once you get made, ? How long is it and what do they go over? Thanks, fellas. Cheers, Chad.
Oh, you talked about it already. Flips.
Yeah. So the flips thing, as far as the school goes, we talked about. It's a very short time, and they really don't go over, what you would think they would go over. It's more of a administration type of situation. As far as if an officer was to tap out, let's say at a job, if he got hurt, then somebody in the company would be an acting lieutenant or captain officer. He'd be just be an acting officer.
Usually a senior guy.
Well, it would be first. It would be a guy who supposedly is on the list. He would be the first one up. But most of the time, I would say it would be that guy, somebody who's acting, who's on the list. And then if not, then it would go to, a senior guy.
I had it twice. Tony Tedeschi wrenched his ankle once, and I got actually the time that Tony tore some ligaments in his ankle. We had one run. I was the officer, and Bobby Salverson missed the run. I'm like, dude, are you fucking kidding me? I'm like, are you kidding me? I get one run as an officer, and I'm -1 guy because you sleep through the run. Are you fucking kidding me?
Are you kidding me, dude? I'll kill that guy.
He slept through the run.
I'll kill him.
God. Chat's gone a little soft on the questions. They're busy berating me for both White Claws and being an environmentalist. In which case, I'll give you this one.
Save the brown sharks.
A few episodes ago, you guys were telling a story about a union meeting where special services got a raise, but other companies that assisted special services didn't. I guess, can you explain those or not? I don't know. Yeah.
The rescue squads and hazmat got a 12% increase. We didn't ask for it. We don't know how it came, but they gave them, which caused an even bigger divide. You thought they hated us before that, bro. They really fucking hated us after that. And they should have actually given it to the SOC support trucks, which support,
That was an issue. I mean,
they should have given them something. They should have given them. I mean, they don't go to as much training as us, so they should at least give them 6%, something. That even created a bigger divide, bro. So
yeah, those guys didn't want to do anything because they had to go to the training, which was a couple times. I don't know if it was annual or whatever it was, but it was on overtime. But it was a couple $100. You know what I mean? They were there for 8 hours, whatever it was, and then that was it. And most of the runs that they went on, they wouldn't get used. I used to teach. I used to go around and teach that, and the major gripe was that the guys didn't get used. So, and I can understand that. But, I used to tell them there's going to be times when you get there before the rescue or the squad. And if you're up on your stuff, you can make a difference. If you're not, then that's, don't blame them when they show up and take care of business. That's what I used to say all the time. So if you got your shit together and you showed up and it's taken rescue 2 or 252 or squad 1, 15 minutes to get in there because of traffic, you could do a lot of work in 15 minutes. But,
Yep. I mean, they only gave him a very scarce amount of equipment, bro. I mean,
yeah, they got to come along.
Yeah, and you know what it was? They didn't even give them enough training to use that equipment. So it was like giving them enough equipment just to hurt themselves, really. So, but they would assist. They would help haul. They would help set up systems. If they were into it, the more they were into it, the more they would be a part of it. You know what I'm saying? Like if we were building a Fort of Water or building, putting up a tripod, if we had a confined space.
Right. The tripod, setting up the bucket for the high angle, the high point, right?
the more they were into it, the more knowledge they had, the more they were able to be part of that, evolution or whatever was going on, that rescue.
Someone's asking in the chat if once you get your certifications in SOC, do your certificates ever expire, and do you ever need to recertify or requalify?
I think you did have to recertify, but I don't remember any of that crap. I don't know any of that stuff. But you did have to do. There was some things that you had to do. Guys were doing that because they were teaching outside of the job. But for the most part, most of the guys in SOC didn't even know what any of that stuff. I don't know.
Right on.
I saw a question in there. I grabbed I forget what the hell it was now. Can't see it.
Okay, Samuel Diener's asking me why I don't anywhere any Getting Salty apparel, because I'm too fucking lazy to go 2 blocks over to Kevin's house.
Yeah. he wants to plug his own shit.
I don't. I'm going to go over to your house and go get them. I'm going to come by tomorrow. That's it.
On the down low, Pete's afraid of I don't want to say what it is, the plague. Pete's afraid. He doesn't want to make.
I'm not afraid of the plague. Give me a break.
Show up with a big mask on his face tomorrow?
Pete's going to come over to my house tomorrow in a level A suit. And then,
I was going to say, I'll bring my Avon M50. Nice light day.
Peter ring my doorbell like Darth Vader.
Hey, Kev, it's me. I'm here for my shirts and my hat.
I need a shirt with a hat.
Here's a weird question, but I kind of get it.
Shiny? Is my forehead shiny, guys? Is it a little shiny?
Holy
all right.
Christ.
Here's a good question.
That's not a 4 head. That's a 5 head, bro.
6 head. I'm up to 6.
Here's a theoretical question. Saw this on Instagram today. Would you rather be on Squad 51 from Emergency, 62 truck from Rescue Me, Ladder 49, or Backdraft's crew?
Backdraft.
Oh, because they went to fire that you could see in, bro.
The best flyers.
No matter what fire you went to in Backdraft,
talk to the guy next door to you.
Talk to the guy right next to you. You can see. You be to like a 12th alarm and to be talking to each other.
That's a good question.
Did you check that door for heat, Tim?
And you could get a good nickname. You know what I mean?
Yeah, bull, axe.
Yeah, axe.
Right.
Axe.
Oh.
Woo.
Axe.
Could you imagine calling a fireman axe?
You guys actually really ruined that movie for me, and I'm glad you did, because I called Louis one night. I was like, I watched Backdraft again. Ugh. It gave me the douche chills, and I'm not even in this thing.
Backdraft, definitely.
Yeah. I want to be.
Oh my god! All right.
Cool.
Oh my god! It's not even 5 minutes of fury, and they're asking.
I was up there doing it.
What the tiniest head Kev has ever come across?
That would be your old lady's forehead. That's what it was.
All right, last question from the emails. We can get to some other fun stuff here. Guys, love the show. Question for you. Some of the old volleys in Connecticut have been telling me about how when they were young in the 70s and early 80s, they would drive down NYC and be allowed to ride along with crews unofficially. Is this true? And do you have any stories surrounding this?
Yeah, they were allowed to ride until 120 flipped its rig over with the
with a buff in it. With a buff in it. I think he broke his leg or something and he sued.
No.
That was the end of the ride along.
I think he broke something and he sued the city, and that was it. So
he sued the city. He sued the city, and he went for a ride along.
Yeah.
Again, I'm hearing this probably 10 people deep, so I don't know if it's fact, but that's what we heard. I
don't know if he sued the city, but it was a buff riding along. 120 got into an accident and he got fucked up. So.
He was in bad shape, but
so that was the end of the ride along.
But Warren said, in 117 we had Ray the Buff, Ray Child, and he used to be there every day. So I don't know if when I got there he didn't ride on the rig because he was older. I don't know if he did earlier. He was a trained buff too, but Scotty Maxwell said 154 had a buff. Warren said, each place had.
154 had the horse-faced kid.
Yeah, the horse-faced kid. But dude,
we had someone we used to call old horsey face.
Dude, the horse-faced kid, if you call that a box anywhere in the city, like box 442, he could tell you first, second, third due,
where it was,
what street corner it was. He was like a Rain Man. They called, I forget his first name, but they called him the horse-faced kid.
Chief Clehouse said the guy did sue. So
oh my God.
that put the end to because guys used to come to 288 once in a while and say, can we hang out? Can we ride? Whatever. And that was the kibosh. Yes. Plus, back then in those days, they had the bench seat in the front, so you could sit the guy in the middle. Right. So now you can't really sit him anywhere because everything's a jump seat. I think
we had a buff Roy Bocci. He was
became a lieutenant now.
Lieutenant on the job. Yeah, he went to 117 truck when Louis was. It was so weird because he was a kid. I was sitting house watch with him. Then all of a sudden he was like a lieutenant on the job. So basically my boss if he worked with me. So he was a kid sitting in the house watch. He was a good kid. I think he's a captain now. Maybe I don't know.
He could be a captain. I know he was definitely a lieutenant up in the Bronx. I know that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, since we're out of questions for now, and since we're out of questions in the email, I think you guys know what about time it is. Hold on. You
guys have no more questions in the chat? Is that it?
You guys know the rules. Okay, 5 minutes. Everybody knows the rules. 5 minutes of fury are on. Go.
Oh, 5 minutes of fury. Hit it. Pete, you have a side effects for that?
Not tonight.
I'm going to go on experience. It takes like a minute to 2 minutes to warm up. Most of them.
It really does. All right, guys. So 5 minutes of fury. All right, let's see. The same hamsters that power Kev's internet also power his car because they know you drive a car.
I drive a what? I drive a Cadillac Escalade. So
what are you talking about, Prius?
You do have a Prius, though. Pete's hair looks like he's wearing a Brillo pad. Correct. I haven't heard that one before. Not never.
That right there. Go back, Douglas something. That was the best right there.
Which one?
If Kev's old lady was an MVP, would she nub you a long time?
Hey, are you fucking paying attention? What's going on here?
I didn't see that one.
That's in the running right there. That's up there.
That's in the running.
Louis at pissypants.com. That's right up there.
Pete, you look like Rosie O'Donnell with a beard. Okay.
Nah.
Wife drives a caddy.
Who needs Kevin's brother's rug? For my 6 head?
Oh, no, that ain't right, bro. The rug?
Come on.
Hey. Pete looks like his first car was a white panel van. They're always getting on me about having a van. Kev, okay. Let's see. Greenpeace. I don't know. Jesus Christ.
Come on, boys. That might be the nub you a long time, bro.
Shit. That was a good one. Come on, I see Kevin shaved off his Asian tickler. I see Lou shaved off his muff duster. all the neighborhood old ladies are going to be disappointed. That's a good one. All right. This show's rated G. Kev, can you ask your old lady what is Martinizing dry cleaning?
I have no idea what that is, bro.
Swing and a miss. Without cursing, this is rough. No, please curse.
Lou, when you got the sock, did you give how much shield or did you write 288 on your forehead? Get your dirty back. That's not bad.
Hey, Lou, SNL called. They want you to play Beldar in the remake of Conehead.
Oh, it's not bad. It's not bad.
Oh, it's up there, bro.
Up. See, now you got to warm it up. Now, how long's that been? 2 minutes?
If Kev was riding the seat, I would sleep through the run too. Hipster Pete with his white claws and tree hugging. Yeah. I haven't seen my Facebook posts.
Come on.
Come on. You guys are running out of time here. We're close to 1 minute here. Does Kev's new blankie stand up on its own from all the mayonnaise he's fired into your old lady's body?
It very well might, bro.
Mayonnaise.
Nice.
Hey, bro.
Kevin, does your mom bring you food in the basement? Mom, the
meatloaf! No.
We want it.
I don't make these curtains, all right? I don't make the curtains.
His old lady makes the curtains.
I know you a long time.
That's the best one, bro, right there. He might win. That guy might be the winner.
Let's see here. literally 30 seconds left for any of you who want to get it going on here. Kev, you look like a Muppet character with diabetes.
Not bad. That's all right.
But the why? I fucking typed so like Kevin walking to the rig for a run so slow with those short legs. Okay,
Never happened, bro. I was at the rig quick, pronto. First one at the rig. Come on.
Yeah. And
Give it a little more time. Let's give it an extra minute because they're just firing up now. Go, give it to them.
Yeah. Hey, hey, Kev, the Pete's kids called. They want their shirts back.
Lou looks like he's slowly contracting AIDS. That could be the winner right there. I don't know.
Why is Aladdin drying his carpets and Lou's windows?
Kenny Yost is in the house, bro. I love it.
What up, Yost?
What up, Yost?
Jim and that's it. I'm shutting it down. Enough is enough. All right, but we have to give the nub guy. That was the best one I did.
Yeah, the nub one, the AIDS one.
The AIDS is a good one too, bro. But the nub, if my wife was an amputee, she'd nub me a long time, bro. Who was that? Dude, go back and find that. We gotta send that guy something, bro. That was good.
You know what? We should do that. Every Fury, we should pick the best one, and we'll send them.
We'll send them something. Who was that?
Dude, I still think the best one total overall was the fucking Lou at Pissy Pants, right? That was the.
That was it.
I don't know. I thought the guy who said that I look like Sylvester Stallone. What did he say?
So about that.
It's Sylvester Stallone fucked his sister. You would be the retarded kid.
Oh my god!
That might be the best of all time, bro. If Sylvester Stallone fucked his sister, you would look like the retarded kid.
Oh my god, that was the first one, bro.
I like the one where the guy said that where are those skateboards on the wall? Are they there to tempt the kids when I drive them around in my ice cream truck?
That was the guys are going outside the box. You know what I mean?
That was a really good one.
That's not apple juice, baby. JP,
so let's find this winner.
Screwball whiskey.
I gotta try that stuff, man.
Boy.
Oh my
God, my face hurts.
Yeah, I can't find the guy, man. He's way. Oh, here he is, Douglas Ott. Douglas Ott. I'm posting your thing right now. If Kevin's old lady was an amputee, would she nub him long time?
Yes.
Hit us up at gettinsaltyexperience@gmail.com. You get a free thing, a ting.
Whatever the president wants to, let loose. You're a little tight. You know what I mean, bro?
Are you going to stop with that? I fucking give out more shit than you could shake a stick at, and you're always going like this to me.
Yeah. All right.
What do we got going on this week, boys?
All right. So Thursday we have the man. It's been a while. He's been sending me pictures every day. I probably have 100 pictures.
What kind of pictures? Pictures of his old lady's
calamari, 120 truck. He's going to be the real deal. There's going to be a lot of laughs. I think this guy's up there with the Chief Bro. Chief Bro's got some good. He got some good.
He did. Somebody's asking me about my whiskey. Yes, it's Screwball, bro. It's like a Slurpee. It's like a candy drink. Oh, look at that! Half the bottle's missing. Oh, how did that happen? Ooh.
Tell your mom that she's going to get very upset.
Definitely email me who you think we should have on the show. That's a great idea. I think it's perfect.
Do me a favor. Email Lou if you think you should be on the show.
Oh, we're gonna get Tony. We're gonna get Tony from Indiana, from Gary, Indiana. We're gonna get Tony on.
Tony Buckrup. Yeah.
So we got calamari coming up next this week. Then the following week we're gonna have Keith. He just retired from 30 Truck. Nicolello, some Italian guy. Nicolello. I got to get to how to pronounce his name. So he did 40 years at 30 Truck. Then we're probably going to have Tony. And then we're going to have Chief Hayde on the show.
Chief Donnie Hayde. Woo!
So he's coming on the 23rd. So
I'm going to announce Chief Kleehouse once he calls us. Is he still in the room?
He probably left.
So
and then we got Patty Lee in the works back there. That should be interesting.
Oh, look, my son's chiming in.
Where is he?
Yes, it's on record that Kev needs a ladder to get into his rig.
Oh.
All right,
Hey, Nick.
Nick, when I come upstairs and beat your ass.
I have one question for Nick. Are you for Scuba?
Are you for Scuba? You for Scuba? Ruben, you up for Scuba?
Hey man, Nick, lay off your old man, Ming. He's gonna make you mop the floors at the store. Come on. So what do we got, guys? That's it, right? And we're gonna. Are we? Is it about that time?
Yeah, we're ready.
Oh, look at Gene Best had a good one. That might be a second. Something wrong.
Something wrong.
Why is it always got to be Asian? Why is it always got to be Asian?
I got to put this on record. We're going to have a show with the firefighters' wives. When you see my old lady, you're going to be like, I definitely married up. My old lady's hot, bro. Yep, Filipino.
Actually, she's 10 years younger. I mean, really?
11.
It's nice.
11 years younger. Could you imagine this guy's blowing dust and this, this girl's
blowing dust? What? What?
You old coot.
Is that what you call it?
She's a nice lady too. She's super smart, good to talk to. Yeah. So, guys, as you all know, find us at youtube.com. What happened?
Nick, when he comes upstairs, just stand on a chair. He won't reach you.
Okay, that was a good one. That was a fucking good one.
All right, next time you get that one back.
All right. For all the audio listeners, if you haven't already, go to youtube.com/gettinsaltyexperience. Give us the finger.
Listen, you guys, share it. Will you share it? We got to get over 10,000 by the end of the year. By the end of the summer, I mean, bro.
End of the summer. End of the month. End of the month, por favor. Come on, guys. I don't get paid until we hit 10,000, they told me.
Kevin's going guys are like blowing baby powder out of a hairdryer.
All right. I'm trying to do the plug. All right. So,
you guys have been over there 5 minutes. Now all of a sudden everybody's got
all of a sudden somebody's funny. Now you're funny, right?
Now you're funny. Now you're funny.
Now. Funny, right? Like you're my court jester or something. What?
So give us the finger, and also head over to iTunes podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, anywhere where good podcasts are found, where you could also subscribe and listen to us there on the audio. Guys, also hit us up at Instagram at Salty Dog Inc. Louis spends a lot of his day with his little digits typing in and curating some amazing firefighting photos, real salty, old school stuff. Super cool. And all the last minute up-to-date information is up there. And last but not least, guys, go to gettinsaltyapparel.com where you can find all the cool t-shirts. I'm just going to go rob a bunch of them tomorrow from the
back.
Let's see the back, Coobs.
That's a good one.
All right, dip down. Oh, yeah, saddle up. Nice. Sounds like work. I like it. Buttery. I want one of those. And guys, last but not least, everyone who has emailed us questions, email us over at gettinsaltyexperience@gmail.com. And if you were in a chat tonight and you actually won, whoever that was, it was Douglas, I believe, in the chat who had the nub. I'm going to give you a prize. Nub you long time.
God,
we should just do a cut one day of all the 5 minutes of fury, and do email us at gettinsaltyexperience@gmail.com, guys. And that is my friends.
That's it, kid. Yep. Wrap it up until we see you on Thursday. Stay low and go.
All right, boys. See you at the big one.
Shalom.